I guess it's a special Sunday edition of the ride to work. I don't normally do this, as you well know, but it has just been a bizarre weekend. It really has. It's not a complaint. It is. Carrion birds are circling. I wonder what they're circling. I don't see any roadkill. Not that it matters. Yeah, I meant to go on about something yesterday, but I guess I've lost it. I'll probably come up with it again by tomorrow. Aha! I remember what it was. I've had massive confirmations on the word that I've received in the last week. That about Noah. He personally, himself, was perfect in his generation. Now, there's a lot of different interpretations on what that means, but partially there's a physical thing going on that he was. His seed was pure, his line was pure, that he was not corrupted by angelic seed. I don't know why I'm having a hard time getting that out. And also he was very righteous. He was a tzaddik, a saint. Now, does that mean he did not sin? You know what we need, what we in the Western world establish as righteousness is not the biblical view of righteousness. So let's just get that out of the way right away, because there are several people in the Old Testament who were described as being perfect. One of them being Noah, and the next one was Abraham. And I'm not going to belabor that in this one. But when Noah built the ark, he brought onto the ark animals of varying varieties. Whose genetics were also pure, but there was the clean animals and the unclean animals. And he had to make a distinguishment between the clean and the unclean. Even all the way back then, the righteous of the King of the universe have to be able to distinguish between what is clean and unclean, what is righteous and what is wicked, what is holy and what is profane. And that message is coming through to me clearer than ever this last week. And this week's Torah portion was out of Vayikra, or Leviticus chapter 12. And that's, about lepers, and, I think the next chapter is, what you can mate with, what you cannot mate with, and, how to keep yourself clean, ritually pure. And these things are coming home to me in, like, giant atom bombs of truth. I mean, I just got chills. I got big time chills yesterday. I was listening to a Bible commentary on that chapter of Leviticus, and he said it in big, large, red letters that this whole portion is about distinguishing between what is clean and unclean. And we who are of the biblical faith, I'm not even going to say Christians or Jews, because those are all misnomers anyway. But we who are of biblical faith, having testimony of the Messiah, Yeshua, and keeping the commandments of Elohim, we need to now more than ever be able to distinguish between what is clean and unclean, what is righteous and what is wicked, what is light and what is dark, what is holy and profane. And all of these things have different meanings. It's not, it's not just a cut and dry way of looking at it. There's a difference between sin and righteousness. There's a difference between being clean or unclean. If you're unclean, there's no reason to be stoned. You're just unclean. Go wash up. When he talks about food that is clean and unclean, it's for our health. It's not about telling you, oh well, you can't eat shellfish because I said so. Shellfish are bottom feeders. They are the vacuum cleaners of the sea. Catfish is a bottom feeder. It's a tank cleaner. You don't want to eat all the muck that this thing's been sucking off of. That's disgusting. You have to think about what you're putting into your body and what kind of refuse and toxins that these creatures are ingesting, and then you in line are ingesting. There's a reason we don't eat pork. It has nothing to do with we just don't. Well, it does have to do with you just don't do that. Well, eating pig is not has not the healthful benefits that you've been lied to about. So you have to think about these things. We have to really take things into consideration. Not get people to argue, well, we've got refrigeration now, and we've got we know the exact temperature at which we are supposed to cook this, It's like, that's not going to work. Especially with the communists coming in and shutting down all our power plants. You may not have refrigeration much longer. And then if you're in a wilderness situation, if you're in a hunter-gatherer type situation, you're not going to know what exact temperature you're cooking the food at. You're not going to know exactly how long you're cooking it. Something on the outside may be burnt to a cinder, but the inside may still be red and underprepared as if he's just slain it. So anyway, I am belaboring that a little bit because I get a lot of arguments. And, this is going to be a divider of faith. This simple thing, just eating bacon, is going to be a divider of faith. I've seen it. In my own family, I've seen it. And it's a painful thing, It's just like, dude, I'm looking out for your health. And they're like, bacon tastes good. Pork chops taste good. And it's just, how do you argue with that? How do you argue with a stronghold like that? These people have such strongholds in their minds and in their hearts. And it's just, once it's taken root, it's really hard to break. Unless you want the truth and you want to live and operate in the truth, you are just going to continue to go down the delusionary road that leads to your own destruction. And I'm learning that more and more all the time. Doesn't matter how much I care about it. I take it to Elohim and he says, yeah, I've been warning people about this for 6,000 years. How do you think I feel? Okay, well, I'll just shut up about that thing. Just keep extending that compassion, keep extending my grace, keep showing them, how I feel about them, whether or not they listen to me. And it comes down to this, I get the argument of unconditional love. And to an extent, you get unconditional love, but you don't get unconditional blessing, Because I love you, but if you love me, you'll do this. You'll distinguish between what's clean and what's unclean, and what's holy and what's profane. You will distinguish these things, and you will act accordingly. And if you don't, I know that you do not love me. I know that you hate me. And he's got a whole series of blessings and curses. He's made it very clear what it means to do these things. If you do these things, you will have a long and blessed life. And if you don't do these things, you will have cursings instead of blessings. You will curse yourself. Prime example. Genetically modified food. Cancer's off the charts. Diabetes is off the charts. Autoimmune disorders are off the charts. Gut flora disorders are off the charts. It's all because we're eating stuff that is not meant to be eating. We're eating profane food. It's unclean. And if you continue to eat unclean food, you become unclean. And so there you have it. We need to start getting this stuff right, or we are not going to make it. We don't make the cut. So yeah, I beseech you to learn what the King of the universe has described as clean and unclean, and stop listening to what other people tell you, because it is going to become a matter of life and death, period. You're not arguing. I can sense a tremor in the pulse. I can sense a pang here coming at me, saying, no, what you say is wrong. You're not arguing with me, you're arguing with the Word of God, okay? So, you can argue all you want. This is not a debate. Well, that was then, this is now. No, it's always been. It is always now. It's about choose now today whom you will serve. If you will serve the master, or if you will serve yourself. Anyway, I think that's all I've got for right now. And I had to get that out, because I really do feel very strongly about it right now, because it's being brought home in a very big way. It means a lot to me, and it should mean a lot to you. Shalom. Have a good week. We'll see you tomorrow.